for joining us another night to discuss Invincible season 3, a new episode, of course, but episode 5 this time. Now, this episode felt a little to me. I don't know how you guys felt about it. It felt more like a filler episode to me. How did you guys feel about it?
I agree.
You agree? Okay.
Maybe it was a filler episode, but I still enjoyed it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's still a good show, but definitely this felt like if you could skip any show or any episode this season so far as this one, in my opinion. But
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
The next episode will probably have those
honestly,
in the last episode credits, and then you'll get it all from there.
I think none of these episodes you should ever miss. Like I would sit here and say maybe this is one of the more weaker episodes after like a strong 1 through 4 episodes, but I wouldn't miss it because I feel like if you miss this, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that happened here, like a certain guy, I'm not going to hold you. Multiple has definitely gotten on my nerve.
Okay.
I feel like you definitely want to see what was going on. And there's a few other things. I feel like there's some callbacks too that I kind of forgot from earlier season. So I wouldn't say you should miss it, but I would say it's not as strong as 1 through 4.
All right. Okay. I can see it. But before we get into details on the episode, let's talk about a little bit of geek news this week. Okay, so a couple things. Honestly, a lot happened this week. So we had to narrow it down to just two of our hot topics, right? But there's so much that happened this week, so it was really hard to narrow stuff down. But first bit of news here is a show that we'll be covering very soon. Daredevil Born Again. Disney Plus released the first 6 episodes release schedule. So, of course, March 4th is the first 2 episodes. Then all the way down, we get an episode per week up until March 25th, where they do another 2 episodes. But unfortunately for us on the East Coast, it's not coming on until 9 p.m. on the night. So with that being said, if you are enjoying our show, we will be discussing Daredevil Born Again. However, we will be doing it the night after the show airs. So if the first episodes, they come on March 4th, we will be going live with you guys on March 5th to discuss those episodes. But yeah, what are your thoughts, guys?
Excited to see some Daredevil again.
I concur with that. I mean, I'm really excited about this show. Right now, I feel like Marvel has just been on such a good streak right about now. If you guys haven't seen Captain America: Brave and the Bold, I recommend it. Not Brave and the Bold, that's Batman. I'm sorry, Brave New World. I do recommend it. I know that you did a review yourself, Cedar Superior, and you should check out her review on it. We did a review on Sunday. I wore the Captain America costume, and maybe slow down on the pizza because I couldn't fit the costume. But
well, you know what? It is what it is. You know, you'll get a new one. You'll get a new one, just like you did.
I will. But I do sit here and say I do like that Marvel is on a great streak right about now because of that. I believe that Daredevil is going to be well, and I know that we're not reviewing this, but I do sit here and say Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was actually a delight. It actually surprised me. Okay. I would say at least watch episode 1 to see how you feel about it, but it was actually a surprise to me because I didn't have high expectations about it, but I finished I think it was like 8 episodes, and it was really, really good.
I do know, spoiler alert, I don't know if it's a spoiler, I think it's pretty well known at this point, but Daredevil makes an appearance in that show.
By Matt, Daredevil himself.
Charlie Cox, is that it? I think okay, he voiced him. That's cool. But yeah, there's a little bit more Disney Plus news since we were talking about Disney Plus. They also announced that they will be putting a pause to some upcoming shows. We had Nova, that's going to be paused. We had something called like was it the Strange Academy or something like it was kind of like a Doctor Strange kind of spinoff, and there was a third that they put a halt on for now. But in more Daredevil news, I believe it was Grand Poobah that shared this with us in the group chat. There's discussions about bringing on all of the Defenders potentially when Daredevil Born Again comes back. I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, for me, I've only watched Daredevil and Punisher. Mm-hmm. So those are the ones that I know. I could care less about the other ones if they return or not. I do know a lot of people really like Jessica Jones, and of course, now his name is escaping me. You guys know
Luke
who you
Cage.
are.
Chris and
Yeah.
Luke Cage.
Cage, yeah. But would you guys want to see all of the Defenders back?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, because I feel like it's been a long time since
Okay.
their shows were out.
Mhm.
At the same time, like, it kind of gives people a reason to watch it back, like Daredevil,
Mhm.
because they're gonna try to continue from that story. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense because they're making shows about it, just about everything now. So,
I would
why
love
You
not?
said you're here for it, Jack?
I would love for it. So I wasn't a fan of Jessica Jones. Iron Fist grew on me.
Well, that's controversial.
I watched season 1 of Jessica Jones, and then I couldn't really get into the last 2 seasons. Luke Cage was really good. So if I had to rank them without including Defenders, and I didn't watch season 2 of The Punisher. Punisher was good, but I always had a hard time picking between Luke Cage and Daredevil, because I was like, some weeks I would say Daredevil was the best Netflix Marvel take of everything, but some weeks I was like, Luke Cage was really, really good. So I would love for these guys to come back, all of them, because I feel like they all played their roles very well, even if I wasn't a fan of, say, Jessica Jones. I thought the lady who did play Jessica Jones did a fantastic job bringing her to life, and I thought the cast was very well. It just wasn't for me. So I'm totally down for it, and I honestly feel we were robbed of a season 2 of Defenders, because season 1 was pretty darn cool.
All right, all right. Well, with that being said, let's get on to our second bit of geek news before we head into the show. And it's also about a show release date. HBO went ahead and put a date on it when it comes to The Last of Us. Now, Last of Us season 1 was very successful. Like, that giant was everywhere, right? Did you guys get a chance to watch it?
I know we did that one review, and I only watched one episode, so I'm just curious. How many episodes for season 1?
For season 1 of the crap, I just did a rewatch not that long ago, like maybe about 3 months ago. Maybe it was like 10 or so. It was around there, but it was really good. But they so good, in fact, that of course they got another season. And for the release date, it's coming out April 13th, guys, for season 2 of The Last of Us. So it's literally right around the corner.
How do you feel about this vibrating, Vic?
I don't remember the show. I'm sorry to say. I really don't. I don't remember the show at all. Like, I gotta watch it back. There's so much stuff to watch now.
It's so hard because there is so much content to watch, but I am kind of open to watching. I just wanted to know how many episodes, because I really get deflated when there's a season and it's season 1 and 20 episodes. I'm like, I know I don't have that kind of time.
Oh yeah, no, we've been past those days. This isn't the early 2000s anymore. Okay.
It's no longer the
no. You get 10 if you're lucky. You get 10 if you're lucky. You're guaranteed to get 10 possible.
But I'm open to checking it out. I mean, I never played the games. It was never my kind of cup of tea, but I've always heard some really good stuff. Matter of fact, the guy who's the main character, I'm sorry, because his name escapes me, is Pedro, right?
Pedro Pascal.
Because he's going to be in the Fantastic Four movie.
Of course, he's in everything.
I just learned he was in Star Wars. I feel like he is in everything. Open my
refrigerator. Yeah, he's the Mandalorian.
Oh, that's who he was. Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, he's in Gladiator, Fantastic Four, like
he was
Wonder Woman.
Oh, he's the new Jonathan Majors. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He's in everything. So good for him for getting that check. I wish it was me. That's all I can say. Get that money. Yes, we love to see it.
So I do love to see it, but I love for it to happen to me.
Oh yeah, you know what? We're going to manifest it for us all on the panel. If you guys are here with us and you're enjoying the show, please like the video if you like the video, and grab your drinks because we're getting into the show proper. Here we go.
I got some my man got some Duff. That's great. I got that Duff man.
That's right, baby.
Also got a little bit of merch on Unpopular Review t-shirts.
All right. I mean, I feel so undressed. This guy is so prepared.
It's crazy. This shirt is like 5 years old.
Still fits though, unlike the Captain America costume.
I did not deserve that strap at all.
But shout out to the viewers. We got 25 of you guys here so far. Thank you for being here. We're getting into the show right now. So it opens up and we got our guy here, Titan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is the what's it called of the show? What was his name from
Luke
huh?
I want to say he was Luke Cage.
Facts.
No, for me, I don't think he's giving a mix between Colossus from X-Men and what's his name from Superman and Lois. Y'all know who I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah,
the one who was trying to get Rolana.
Yes. The one who was trying to who was married to Alicia Keys.
Facts.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now. I'm sorry, I mixed them up. Okay, I know.
Yeah,
like Gutter Road or something like that. I forgot.
Yeah, in season 3 and season 4 of Superman and Lois, look for the black guy. This is exactly who this man is. A mix between him and Colossus from X-Men. Just like the man from Superman and Lois, he's a family man, right? He's got himself a daughter. We see her. I believe she was in the earlier seasons, but they confirmed that she has some sort of sickness. She mentioned that she just took her medicine. So I'm hoping that they elaborate on that later in the season. But he's a family man. He takes his daughter to school. And even though he's a family man, he's also a criminal. Like that, he's cleaning up the streets of suicide slums.
That's what it was. Suicide slums. Yes.
Right. Or Freeland, whatever you want to call it. But there's a code. Like he's like, look, I'm with my family. Don't bother me. Even though Isotope, who is our teleporter in the episode, he had to, come and kind of break up the moment because there's some issues going on that we'll get into in a little bit.
Yeah.
But flash over to the prison, right? And this seems to be the same prison that our guy Cecil was in previous episodes with that little flashback. But we have Multipole in the cell, still locked up, still behind them bars. And he comes up with a plan. And this was the most disgusting thing in the episode. Okay. He decided that he's going to multiply himself to the point that the hinges on the door are going to burst out. And all of the bodies are sacrificed, squeezing themselves against the hinges. That was wild. And I'm like, it's wild to the point that, is it even possible? Do you think that?
No, I don't. No, because you know what? I was looking at this. So I'm glad that you asked that question, because I said, what would have happened if the doors didn't come off the hinges? They would have kept elevating up and he would have suffocated. Like that could have killed him. I watched this back for the second time. Like the first time I watched, I said, wow, that's unique. Then I said, that's not realistic.
No, because it was a huge steel door. I'm like, how the hell did this even happen? But, we'll suspend our disbelief and go along with it. He was able to break through the steel doors with the amount of, force from the multiple bodies he was able to.
And the blood, too. It was really I feel like it was the blood that poured the door open.
You think so? Got the hinges off with it soaked it through?
I kind of do, because the blood was the thing that opened the door. Like, you didn't see the hand until after and whatnot. And I'm interested in this ability here a little bit, because do they just know that they're being sacrificed? Like, one of them helped him elevate himself and to avoid all the damage so he doesn't get killed. I'm sorry, I'm not putting the words together here, but elevated him and he was able to hang on the wall.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do they know that they're being sacrificed? Do they not care? Like, I'm just interested in this ability. It, for whatever reason, in this episode, made me question, like, do they? I don't know. I
assume that they just have one purpose together, because each one has the ability to eventually be like the head guy. Because we saw with Duplicate, she always sends a spare, right, over who knows where's, right? And if all else dies, that spare comes in and they're now the number one. So it's like maybe, each one has their own, like, ability, like not abilities, but understanding or cognitive ability. But they're just all within the same desire. They all have one kind of tunnel vision and kind of, we got to do this. I don't know, but it's a very interesting concept. But it made me think now that, damn, if you got this power, there's no reason for you not to be a billionaire at this point, or a millionaire, because you got all of these people Like everyone has a job.
That's true. To run your own company.
Honestly, this kind of moved up because super speed is my favorite superpower of all times, as you guys know. But this kind of moved up to number 2 for me because I was like, you know, you kind of could do some stuff with it. And I didn't even think about like how you said, like everyone can have a job. Like, one is a plumber, one is a firefighter.
Right. Yeah, everyone can learn how to do something different, or you can take half and they can go get the job and the other half can go to school. So then, you know, we can switch off and then everyone's making money. Like, I don't know. I'm always looking at it.
It's in the top 5 of powers, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely coming up. The ranking is coming up. But after he attempts to break out, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on, you know, your point of view.
It's fortunate, Cecil Perry.
He gets a power removing necklace. It kind of looked like
it sustained his power. It's like a collar. So because if you see, and you see it a lot in this episode, when he tries to duplicate himself or multiply himself, it prevents him from doing that. I mean, this whole thing that where they're at, this cell and everything, it reminds me of, and once again, watch Captain America, Brave New World. This is the RAF.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's for like the super powered, you know, criminals, individuals, for sure. But after he gets captured, his sister duplicate comes, and you can actually see the little thing that they got on his neck in this image. That's the thing that's suppressing his powers. She comes, and apparently she was working on Cecil to try to get him to let her brother out. I'm blanking on the word, but essentially saying, oh yeah, he's done wrong, but he can still be of assistance. So let him out so we can kind of guide him in the right way. And we know from previous episodes that that's kind of Cecil's MO. He'll take a bad guy and he'll work with them for the greater good, if you will.
Well, she clearly knows that.
Darkwing.
Huh?
I was gonna say, look at Darkwing.
Oh yeah, Darkwing. Those damn what's it called? Little monster joints. These joints, right?
From, Sinclair.
Yeah. But he messed it all up with the attempted escape, and it was during this scene that Duplicate mentioned that she recently seen their father, I believe. And we get a little flashback of their dad, who was looking very stressed, very depressed, with all of these duplicates of these kids, and I'm like, facts. That's how it will be. Imagine having 2 little toddlers that can multiply, like just keep going.
Who wouldn't be stressed out? You never know which one's the real one.
You never know which one's the first one. You never, like, you can never stop them. And it made me wonder where the mom was. I don't know if she passed away in childbirth potentially.
I mean, they probably multiplied while they were in it and blew her up. That's probably where he got the escape route.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Vicky made this very difficult.
Right, in fact, she's there in the belly just adding up and she can't take it anymore.
I'm laughing because the way Vic made it sound, like she was like, oh my god, baby, I can't help. And then
I would not put it past this show to do that.
Oh, facts. And honestly, that's what should have happened to Lois from Superman to Lois.
But no, Lois is much stronger. I will give her credit here. And this is the only time I'll do it because we're not reviewing Superman Lois. And
Lois probably has the super universe.
But all seriousness, I do hope that they touch on that because that is a good point. Because where is the mom? Like, the mother has to be involved. So I hope that they do touch on that at some point.
Yeah, so we see in the flashback that, of course, the dad is stressed out, spazzing out, lost his mind, to the point that he ends up selling the kids to this outside agency that trains them as assassins. So there's still like this sore spot between, Duplicate and Multipole when it comes to their father. We also get a quick scene with our guy Machine Head.
I love this so much. He was missed. I didn't realize how much I missed him until I watched this episode, and I was just like, "Yo, this dude is just." He talked. First off, he does the auto-tune thing. It's
That's a cool way to
thing. But he said, "Yeah, but even if you remove me as a thumb, there's a bigger thumb." Like he was just talking so much mess that made me go like, "Yo, I didn't realize I missed you until now," and I apologize about that, sir. So
he's a very entertaining character.
He is.
He's always talking shit like
Yeah.
Rex.
But he was he was speaking to Titan.
Yes.
And essentially that's when what he did say this time, like, yo, you try to take me out, but there's always a bigger thumb, there's always a bigger guy. And it looked like you in a tight spot, right? Clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, Titan was trying to get like a little insight, a little help when it comes to him and Mr. Liu. But we'll get into that in just a second. But on to our guy, Mark, Invincible himself. He's in the crib, smashing Eve. But they come up with a plan that literally everyone has done or, thought of. Like, yeah, I'll go down and you go out the other way. And, we'll just meet up downstairs. That's what's happened. We see that he goes down for breakfast with the fam. She comes out of the house, flies down, knocks on the door as if she's just in the neighborhood. And they all have breakfast together. A very awkward breakfast because my baby Oliver just has no filter.
Oh, the purple terror. Yeah, absolutely.
He's
not. Be honest. Have we not flying out of like our, significant other's window, knocked on the door, be like, "Hey, come on, that's normal behavior, right?" I mean,
look, you're not going to get nothing past Oliver, okay? He hears it all. He said they was playing and keeping me up all night. She's been here all night, Mom. And honestly,
that's why I nerve for the purple terror because he keeps everyone all night because he does bad stuff. Please
don't be gumming on my baby like that, okay? Look, give him a break. He's learning.
Superior, I get it. You like the bad guys. We get it.
He's a baby. Look, we're not going to get on this baby, but Debbie took it on the chin. She was like, very demure. Let's not talk about it. The whole breakfast was awkward.
She knew.
She clearly knew, but she didn't want to embarrass them.
Moms be known.
But it was during this breakfast scene that Mark was like, look, Mom, how much does an apartment cost? Because I'm trying to get up out of here. Me and Eve are going to live together. And this is what made me mad because, boy, you're 19 years old. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Like, that makes no sense. And honestly, Debbie kept her cool. But I would have been like, are you dumb? Like, not only are you trying to live by yourself at 19 years old, which is, and it by itself, like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. But you're trying to live with your little teenage girlfriend. Like, what? Excuse me? What did you guys think of this?
Well, I mean, I'd feel differently if my kid had superpowers.
Like, yeah, but he's 19. I would feel even more inclined to keep him in the house if he has superpowers because...
how can you navigate that? Like the fact that she has any control over her son is
Mark has a lot
is impressive because she what I mean. I mean, clearly she's happy that what I mean. But yeah, I don't know how she can completely just express that. Like you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, you're not whatever, and like the kid would just automatically rebel. Okay. Especially somebody that has all of these abilities. I mean, look what Eve did when she was fighting with her parents. But she went and made a treehouse, but then had to find out the hard way that the treehouse is not all it's cracked up to be. You know what I mean? Like, I think that she navigates things. I think what I mean to say is that I think she treads lightly when it comes to that, because
gentle parenting, that's what you're saying. Gentle
parenting. Because like I mean, I see what you're saying. Like for any 19-year-old, they don't know shit enough to do something like that. But this kid, imagine if he goes back and works for Cecil, gets on a salary, it's doable. You know what I mean? Or it's
he ain't got no damn job. Pooh, what did you think about this? And thank God you were wearing pants this episode. Go right ahead.
Wow.
I promise I wear pants most of the time when I watch it, when I do this episode. But first things first. I mean, I don't think Mark would ever, like, if his mother said something, he might not agree, but he was never going to be anything like, I'm going to choke my mother out and kill her and anything like that. I don't believe that kind of thing. Debbie's a real one. I one of the things I like about Debbie is that she just support her son in whatever. She's probably like, I don't think that's a good idea, but you know what? I'm gonna always be here if you need something. Figure this out. do this, blah blah blah. But I'm here. I'm gonna be here because I hear what you're saying, Cedar Superior. Because that's true. Like first things first, they have been only dating for like 5 minutes,
Right?
and you're already talking about moving in.
Yeah, and neither one of them got a damn job. No job talking about how much does an apartment cost. Like, sir, the fact that you even had to ask your mom that tells me that you are not ready to live on your own.
But you know what? But you know what I think though? Like, I think we give Mark a lot of crap here, right? I'm sorry,
okay.
Mark. I think we give him a lot of crap here, right? But Mark is respect. Like his mother's opinion matters to him.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always got out of anything. Regardless, like Mark has been very aggressive in this season. But when it comes to his mom, like I don't know, man. Like he that's a sore spot for. I mean, a sore spot for him. So I think he wanted to say that just to like, hey, I'm saying this, blah blah. And I know we'll talk about it a little bit later here, but I do want to say in this scene, I do love the brother rivalry with him and Oliver. Because like there's a thing where he says, "Stop kicking me," and Oliver's kicking under
the table.
Yeah, it was actually pretty hilarious. And if you look at the scene, like when Eve is talking, he's looking at they have this mean look at each other, like they keep kicking each other. I just thought it was a fun scene, but yeah, no, I think it's cool that Mark went to his mother. I'm a mama's boy, so like I go to my mother for things. So for me, when I see this, I'm like, that's dope. That's dope. Like, hey, what do you think about this, Ma?
What I noticed in this scene was how much damn pancake she gave Oliver compared to everybody else. She got the whole goddamn full stack, and everybody else got a little short stack. What's going on?
Well, she said he's growing. That's a little nugget that he's growing and growing fast.
I guess. Okay.
I'm not gonna hold you. I had 4 slices of pizza today, and I think this dude can eat up 2 pies by himself.
Oh yeah, he's a hungry little baby, hungry baby boy. But again, at the table when Mark asked about the apartment. Eve later, just the next scene, she pretty much confirmed that, yeah, I'm ready to move in together too. And this is why I said in the group chat that goddamn Eve is a pick-Misha for sure, because wasn't it just like 2 episodes ago the home chick was like, oh yeah, I gotta go back to live with my parents. I gotta fix things with my mom and dad. I'm going to school. I'm going to live with my mom. I can't be out here. So much so that she was like, I can't even stay with Team. I'm not staying there. I'm going to live with my parents. And suddenly, when Mark was like, yeah, let's go get an apartment, baby, you and me with no job, she was like, oh yeah, that sounds like a plan. Like, what, ma'am? I thought the whole point of you not being alone in the treehouse was so you could be with your parents and like nurture that relationship. Now it's, F the parents, because now I got a man and I'm going to go stay with him. This is why I say she's a pick-Misha, y'all. Yes.
What you got, Big Vic?
I think that she's been loving Mark for a really long time, so she just made an emotional decision.
I like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't necessarily think she's a pick-me because she's not really competing with anybody for Mark's affection.
She's desperate for his approval. She's so in love with this man. We see later in the episode that she literally just goes along with whatever he says, because when he said, yeah, let's move in together, she's like, oh, yeah. Then he says, oh, well, I think we're going too fast. She's like, oh, yeah.
I mean, no, but she was the one who was just like, yo, we need to slow down. But
he said it first.
No, but here's the thing, though. Because I think she's been probably wanting that for a while, because who came up with the whole business plan? Who came up with the whole
trying to support her man who ain't got no job because she just want him by her side to pick Misha, like I said.
Facts. No, but the thing is that, look, just like I was saying before, like they have superpowers, so they're in a very unique position where they could capitalize on those skills. And right away, and mind you, she had already gotten a contract, so they're like contract superheroes. Not many people could do that, especially at 19 years old. So like, there's definitely a way where they could figure it out. And I think that she's really, really good. And mind you, like every single time that she was talking to him and they were having those conversations, he was just looking at her like, damn, she's ill. Like she's great.
Right. Because he's not. She would be the main one putting shit together. He don't know how to rub 2 pennies together. He said he didn't even know how to make an email address, guys. This man is a dunce. And the only thing he can do is punch through walls. Thank God he can do that. But
I mean, I'm not gonna lie though.
You need that right
For a
person.
19-year-old in 2025, that's kind of sad that you don't know how to make an email.
Yeah, it's sad.
You know what? And I hear you. I hear you.
If you was 65, I get it. You
But
feel
wait.
me? But
Jack, what were you saying?
No, I hear you. I hear you. But sometimes you just need that person to help you and motivate you. So like,
facts.
I think that's dope. So like, I hear you. I think that's valid points where you're like, how do you not know how to make a email and all that stuff? I mean, all he knows how, like how you guys said, all he knows how to do is punch and fly to the sky and all this stuff. He can do all these other things. The simplistic stuff he does not know. She does, and she's able to bring him. If I can use Iron Fist real quick, he was locked up for a minute. And
No, you cannot, because nobody saw that show but you, sir. Nobody was watching that.
Take the floor.
I mean, but wait a minute. Did Omni-Man know how to make an email address?
I doubt it.
You know what I mean? Because Mark was training. Mark was training, learning under his father. He learned his father's skills. You know
I'm sure he knew how to do it because the man was
he
smart
did
enough to deceive everyone around him for how many years.
Possibly.
The thing is, I get why Mark is with Eve, right? What I don't understand is why Eve is really willing to risk everything and do everything in order to be with Mark.
Because he's the only one that sees her for who she is.
That's a lie.
Not as a freaking, not as like a superhero for hire. He's known her for a long time, and you know that they fit each other well because they get each other's problems. You know what I mean? Like they look very happy.
They don't do the same thing. But let's get into these comments. We have a comment here from Leo Gomo. Thanks for being here. Superheroes being affected by zoning laws was the best part of the apartment planning. Right. And at the end of the day, where is the treehouse? Why don't you guys just go stay at the goddamn treehouse, bruh? But anyway, she does come up with this plan to create a business by the name of Invincible Inc., where it's a heroes for hire. And she approaches the prison. She goes up to the warden and was like, hey, what if we could have someone on call, a superhero, whenever you guys need them? And we don't really see in this scene whether or not the warden was okay, but she does take her business card and, moves on, right? Later, we get back to our friends here, Rex and Ray. Rex creates a whole cute little card for Ray.
That was messed up.
Yeah, inviting her to dinner. And created a whole little HelloFresh meal for her. What did you guys think of this?
I resonated with that because that's how I'm learning to cook.
HelloFresh?
Yes. I made a couple of good meals. I mean, I burned one, but I made a couple of good meals. Right. So yeah, I resonated with that. I thought that was cool.
I love that for you so much because I went on YouTube, so I wish I did HelloFresh. That card that they used, Rex really mixed up. Like he could have made Ray much smaller, but whatever. Like
why she look like? She looked like Megan from Meg from Family Guy.
Facts. That's crazy.
But what I like about this scene is that you get to see that Rex is growing as a person. I mean, if you watch the first few seasons with Rex, and you can see in this season he's trying to grow, and he's even something that he said. I loved when he said like, "Hey, you want a dinner? You want this and this and this? You want a normal bus?" I like that for Rex. Rex is a very interesting character. So I love that for him, and you see the growth with him, and also too we get a little bit more of I forget what her real name is, but I'm just gonna say Ray.
Yeah, right. And he's very considerate. You see, like he has her as a priority. He's thinking, okay, these are things that she likes and enjoys and wants to do, and he's making an effort to do them. This I can see why someone would be like, okay, Rex is making an effort. Invincible, not so much, but whatever. We'll talk about it. We're back to them. They're trying to set him up with an email address. His very first one, guys. Keep in mind he was enrolled in college for a good amount of time, and he still doesn't know how to set up an email address.
Don't do that. No, she was running her business, and he was impressed, and that's when he said, "I don't know how to do an email," and that's okay. That's all right. It's all right if a guy sit here and go, "I don't know how to do this," and a woman goes like, "Hey, let me help you and teach you." That's okay. She don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear it because why is she changing everything in order to be with this man? It doesn't make sense. She could literally be out somewhere in college in a penthouse doing her own thing, but she's out here cradling Mark like a child, dragging him along. Here's how you do an email. Here's how you count $1, $2, $3. This is how makeup is. Like, ma'am, get it together. But they do put this business together. But it was in this scene that Debbie comes knocking on the door, right? She's like, hey, your brother's missing. I don't know where he is. So Mark and Eve, they go out to try to find Oliver. And Oliver is out here on these streets, right? Out here on these streets, not being a hoodlum, but being a nice young man because he made some friends. And they're out skating in the park. I thought this was so cute. Mm-hmm. Invincible, of course, he wanted to like hop in and kind of take Oliver up. But Eve was like, hold on, let's see how things go. And there was a point in this scene where some bullies came up, some older boys, and Oliver got that, he got that dog in him, and you never know what he's liable to do. So they were scared that he was going to actually attack these young boys. But he, just pantsed them and kept it about his merry way. So we get to see that Oliver's learning, he's growing, he's a good little young lad here. What do you guys think about this scene?
No, it set up the whole premise of sometimes you gotta let just kids be kids, or else they're gonna sneak out and be kids. Mm-hmm. You gotta give them a little freedom.
A good young man, isn't that right? Yeah.
No. No, but I will credit the Purple Terror. He when he crushed his fist together, I said, "Oh no." Matter of fact, it was so hilarious because you talked about Eve and Mark was ready to intervene, to which Eve stopped him, and she said, no, don't worry, he can handle himself. And he's like, I'm not worried about Oliver.
Right.
Not worried about that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did that, I actually was shocked by that. Now, I didn't think he would kill these guys. I didn't know what he was going to do. So when he pantsed them, I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. He's a sweet young boy. But
now he is.
Following that, we get in a little tight scene with Titanium and Mr. Liu. Mr. Liu is upset that Multipole is still in prison. And pretty much Titanium was like, look, I tried. Now it's out of my hands, right? It's in God's hands now. And Mr. Liu was not trying to hear it. He said, look, either you get him out or, I start looking into this little family. You got you and, your daughter is quite the entrepreneur. So, of course, that put a little fear in Titanium's heart. He goes to check on his daughter. She's fine. But now that threat is lingering, right? So he takes it upon himself to approach Invincible at the prison. A slight fight ensues, not too much of nothing. But he ends up convincing Invincible to come over to Suicide Slums, right? Where he says, hey, look at the streets. It's clean, right? Look at the people. They're happy. That's all because of me. And if I'm gone, a worse guy, a bigger thumb is going to come around and make it a mess here. So it's in your best interest to help me, help you by getting rid of Mr. Liu. And honestly, Mark wasn't down. He was like, look, you're a criminal. They're all criminals. So by the time Colossus here, aka Titanium, put it together, he made a run for it, and he kind of disappeared in the crowd. So we see that the people in this community are very much behind Titanium because they all had on this gray hoodie and were all willing to kind of camouflage him in this moment. And I thought that was really cool, even for him to even have the forethought to put this plan together. That, hey, everyone's going to wear this. So then if anything goes south, I can blend in and get away. What do you guys think?
I thought that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
The way he got away from Mark. And Mark was very smug about it. Like, come on, dude, I can fly. And then it lost him.
Mm-hmm. Lost him in the crowd.
Actually.
What'd you say, Pooh-Bah?
That actually pissed me off because, like,
why?
Mark, he just said it. Mark was smug about it. And he's like, I can fly. Like, you should have caught this dude. I understand we have to suspend our disbelief here, but why didn't you catch him so fast? Like, this dude wasn't even running that fast. So, like, I remember seeing it, and I watched it on my way back here home, and I was like, "How come you didn't catch this guy?" Like, and mind you, Mark is a lot stronger and faster in this season than
Titanium.
I'm not even gonna go with 1, 2.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2, he's a lot more. You didn't catch him,
yeah,
and then get confused. I mean, it was a brilliant plan, but
yeah, it was.
You didn't catch him.
But with that, our boy Titanium, he ends up going back to the office, and he was double crossed. Our guy Isotope, who was his right hand man, ended up switching sides, being on Mr. Liu's side, and Mr. Liu turned into this dragon, and unfortunately, our guy Titanium fell out of the high rise, presumably to his death. Right, so that was a very interesting scene, and it was during this scene that we see Mr. Liu's power, and it's almost like he takes on like this spirit of the dragon. It's like his body is immobile once he becomes a dragon. It's still there, but he's very much vulnerable as he embodies this dragon.
Yep.
That was interesting. But what do you guys think of this transformation here?
No, I thought it was different.
Okay,
you got like this old man body, and then all of a sudden you release this dragon like out of nowhere. Like, yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Jack,
it was different. I wanted to say, oh man, I thought American Dragon, but I feel like American Dragon came out after. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you?
No, Jake Long. We're not bragging.
American Dragon.
American Dragon.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, that was a bop.
Heck yeah, it was. This moves a Get Invested with Grandpa. That's the. That was the jam.
And then he bumps into something or whatever. I remember that. Like, I think I watched very few. Matter of fact, real quick, season 1 was crazy because he was big and buff, and season 2 he was skinny. I didn't know what was going on there. But I thought it was cool, like, because they kept mentioning that this dude turns into a dragon, and we actually saw him turn into a dragon. Like, I'm sorry, what was the guy's name? With the metal head.
Mr. Liu?
No, with the metal head.
Isotope.
No, the metal head, the one with the auto tunes.
Oh, Machine Head.
Machine Head. He said, I saw him eat somebody, and I'm not lying, I'm not joking, he really did. And I think Isotope even mentioned, yeah, he ate somebody and it came out as dragon crap. So, yeah.
That's
so
what he said.
Actually see it, like, oh, I'm not joking.
So after this scene, the dragon, he said, look, I'll do it myself, like Thanos, and he goes to the prison and tried to break out multiple. And I'm thinking, why the hell didn't this just happen the first time? Like, you had to really go over to Titan or whatever his name is, Titanium, to do this when you could have just did this from the jump. Like, sir, what are we doing? But it was during this time, of course, he's causing such destruction at the prison that the warden finally was like, all right, let me go ahead and make this call to this 19-year-old saleswoman and get a hero on call. So both Adam Eve and Invincible show up on the scene, and this scene kind of reminded me of Sailor Moon a little bit, because she had this whole transformation. She had like, did y'all get that same vibe, or was it just
facts? Whenever she changes, you do get the Sailor Moon vibe. Yeah,
it's all pink. She's in the sky, switching into like this other kind of outfit. And they combine forces to punch the crap out of Mr. Liu. But
American Dragon.
Yeah, American Dragon, but he's the real Invincible, because it wasn't doing nothing.
He really
wasn't doing nothing. And for whatever reason, they split up, right? And I'm thinking to myself, why did they do that again? It wasn't all the way clear.
You gotta remember when the cell broke, and Eve had to sit here and stop all the people who were trying to escape, because this fight really broke the cell or the jail, however you want to work, prison. And she said, "Oh, I have to do this," and I think she had a lot of trust in Mark Invincible to hold his own against the dragon, which the dragon mocked him.
Can't make an email address, can't fight, can't do nothing. What is he doing?
Let's not do that. No. Let's not do that. He can't.
He's hating on Mark all day, right?
He can't do nothing.
Mark.
Right. At least, like I said with Debbie, she didn't have no real chemistry with what's his name, Omni-Man. But at least he could take her place. At least he could go to France on a whim, right? She's like, okay, I can see the appeal here, but what? Come on now. I know I can't be the only one that notices this between her and Mark. But anyway, Multi-Paul, he tries his hand to escape. He ends up overpowering the necklace and attempts to escape. But of course, Adam Eve was able to encapsulate him with her, like, her abilities, that kind of force fields and stuff she was able to create. Him and along with all of the other prisoners in the prison. We're still battling with Mr. Liu. Mark gives him like this deadly blow, which should have killed him, but because it's like a spirit type of transformation, the dragon can't die unless the body of Mr. Liu dies, and the body is way back at the penthouse, right? Mm-hmm. But our boy, Machine Head, he already got a plan. He already there, ready to take the top spot. Him and Isotope, he's coming with the Glock, about to get rid of Mr. Liu. And it was that actually saved Mark, because he shot him in the nick of time, with a little bit of help from Titanium, because apparently the orders were to allow the dragon to kill Mark before Machine Head kills Mr. Liu. But apparently Titanium was like, look, I owe you one for whatever reason. Maybe it's something from a previous season that I'm not remembering. And he allows Mark to live. But did you guys like this ending here? Did you like that Mr. Liu got his just desserts, it would seem, in this scene?
I thought it was a nice swerve.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
I definitely thought it was a nice swerve. Oh.
Yeah.
It was fine. I mean, it was cool. I'm not. So what's his name? Mr. Lee, right?
Mr. Liu.
Liu. Maybe he was in a previous episode from the seasons. I'm not. I have no affinity for him. So, it was cool. Get rid of him, and you have Machine Head now running the order. So, that's going to be interesting moving forward.
Yeah. So they ended up, packing things up. We do get a quick little scene of Adam Eve and Mark back on the damn rooftop, child. Like these two. And this is when I said earlier that Mark was like, yeah, I think we're moving too fast. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, even though I already started planning our life together, I agree suddenly that we're moving too fast. Even though I started this whole business so we can live together and did all of this. It's like she just agrees with whatever he says. And this is what I don't like. She has no kind of identity almost when she's around Mark. It's like she's just
like a backbone. I think as time goes on, she will grow that. I think right now they're in the early stages of their relationship, and you kind of just don't want to ruffle the feathers and stuff like that. So I want to sit here and go that she wants to support anything that Mark is doing, but give it some time. Once again, they've been dating for what? Let's say 20 minutes, right? Give it some time. Let it be a year. Let it be a year. As time goes on, she's going to be like, that's stupid.
But imagine, she already made a business for them to make some money to get an apartment, right? Imagine she told her parents or something like, hey, yeah, I'm moving out. Bye. I'm packing my stuff. And next thing you know, the very next day, here come Mark. Oh, well, I don't know.
Well, the father would be down for that, C Superior. The father would be like, yeah, see, everyone is trash. The mother would probably be more hurt than anything.
But I'm talking about for her, she just potentially uprooted her whole situation for Mark just to change his mind.
Well, you know what I think? I think what this shows is that they're so young. And I think a lot of young people, 19, 20 and stuff like that. We got to remember I don't want to reveal our age. We're much older. And for us, we're like, we wouldn't do nothing like that. But a lot of people who are 18, 19, they would do stuff like that. That's kind of how things are, because they feel like, I feel like with Adam Eve, she feels like this is forever.
Just make me
look, all of them.
Remember, we're looking at this from adult eyes compared to teen eyes.
I mean, but you know what though? A lot of the adults, when it comes to the teens, are concerned about people that can't necessarily make their own money. First thing she said is, should we shut down the Invincible Inc.? And he was like, no. Why?
Yeah.
And I'll compare it to something else. Look, all of those kids that are on TikTok making millions of dollars, they're not living at home anymore. They're 19 and 20. You know what I mean? At least most of them, the ones that are on whatever house, this house, that house, on all of these houses that they all built. You know what I mean? So like if they're generating the income, why not?
She wild for that, because the only reason she created that business was for him to feel like he was contributing in some way. Because quiet as is kept, like we said the last episode, she can just generate some money on her own. She can just create it from the dust, right? But I guess she didn't want to emasculate him by not allowing him to do something, contribute. So now they're not even living together, and she's still going to have to put up this front of a business so he can buy some more Dr. Strange dogs and be at his mama's house, not paying no bills. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I told y'all episodes ago, I don't ship them. I don't like them as a couple, but it is what it is. But of course, Mark goes in and tells his mom that, hey, I'm not leaving. And, she's overjoyed. She also revealed in this scene that, yes, she knows that they're hooking up in the baby bed.
He probably wants to leave now.
Right. That's so embarrassing.
It's a very uncomfortable conversation to have, especially with your mother.
Right. I was a secondhand embarrassment for Mark, but he definitely did zip up out of there after that. But we do get a little bit of a couple last scenes. We see that Machine Head is at the head of the table when it comes to the order. He's taken over the place of Mr. Liu, and our guy, Titanium, he approaches the table saying, hey, you guys can do whatever you want, but just give me the city. And also I'm out, which surprisingly, Machine Head agreed to. This was a shock to me. But what did you guys think? Vic, what did you think of this scene here?
I think that I think that Mark kind of changed him a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Kind of made him see.
Who, Titanium?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like with Superman and the guy, from Superman and Lois, where he was this bad guy, and then by the end of the show, he was a good guy. You know what I mean? So like, I think that's the same thing that happened here, where he's just trying to be good for his kid, good for his community. You know what I mean? Like he's like Malcolm X in the whole thing. At one point it's by any means necessary, and then after coming back from Africa, it's all like, nah, man, we all gotta be together and band together.
Grand Poobah, thoughts?
First thing is something I saw on X is, if you could put the image up one more time, we got I'm just gonna say the Wonder Woman of the show. That's Wonder Woman 2. That
looked like a Hawk Girl or something.
No, it's supposed to be. I thought it was Wonder Woman. You said Hawk Girl?
She looked like a Hawk Girl to me. Is that wings or is that a cape?
That's wings.
Okay, well, either way, she looked like there's definitely some DC inspiration here.
Yes, I'm gonna say.
And look at Elektra over there in the corner.
She do look like Elektra, though. She does look like Elektra. I'm trying to figure out what the Mantis is, but we'll figure it out all as time goes on.
Martian, maybe, or who? Ant-Man.
I wouldn't even think Martian, because Martian is our guy Sonic the Hedgehog, Ben Schwartz, who plays.
No, but I mean like Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter, yeah, that's the one who's on the Guardians. Yes. No, I don't think that's him. But what do I think about this?
Wait, hold on. Martian Manhunter, he's in DC.
No, he's in DC, but I'm saying the one who's similar to him in this universe is the one in the Guardians of the not Galaxy, Guardians of the Globe. The one I said that voice is the one that Sonic the Hedgehog voice. Ben Schwartz.
He is not giving Martian Manhunter. He's giving what's his name from Fantastic Four. He's got that power. He's not giving Martian Manhunter.
Absolutely not. No, please stop.
Well, let us know. I'm gonna clip this out because it's definitely not giving Martian Manhunter. It's giving Reeve Richards with the powers.
Oh, because he stretches a little bit. Okay. What did I think about the scene? If we're gonna get more Machine Head, I'm dope for it. I'm with it. I feel like this scene right here, Titanium, this kind of reveals to me that this is Luke Cage right here. Because he's like, do whatever you want, but let me protect this. Luke Cage is someone who wants to protect Harlem. Now, this is not Harlem, of course, but I just get that. I get that reference out of it. So it's cool. I hope we get to see more Titan here. I feel like it's been a while since we saw Titan. Until they mentioned, I'm talking about Machine Head, when he said like, "Oh, I haven't." Not that he haven't seen him since, but it was like, "Oh man, it was so cool when I got my line talking about Battle Lion or Battle Beast." I'm sorry. We need more Battle Beast, by the way. He he mentioned that, and I feel like that was the last time that we saw Titan. So this scene was cool. This is great, and it makes me once again say, because when we're talking about episodes, maybe this is the weakest episode of the series. Fine. But it makes me go like, man, I was so glad that I got to see this episode, because now I look forward to see episode 6.
For sure. We got our guy in here,
yes,
Leo Gomo. Martian Man can also stretch, but he can do basically anything at this point. So hard to pinpoint. Oh, I didn't know he had a stretching ability. Okay, very interesting. Okay,
I didn't know that either. But let me ask you, can you pronounce this gentleman's name, or pronounce his name?
Leo Gomo.
Yes, I want to make sure we got this right. Who do you think more of, Mr. Fantastic, or do we think Martian Manhunter?
Yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Just to before the show end. But I just to wrap this all up, I thought this episode was fun.
But wait, we do have a couple more scenes. We do just really quickly. Duplicate does get this little cutout, and this makes me think: is this her father leaving this, or is this her brother? Because we see this scene here. The brother left it.
I think the brother did that as an indicator to let her know, that I'm out.
Okay, that he's not locked up.
I think the father is in a place right now, and there's soft cushion all over the place.
Yeah, I can see that. But last few scenes at the very, very end, guys, we see that our guy, Mr. Liu, Mr. Liu, that big man, this big guy, right? His bodyguard survived the fall. I don't know how. I don't know what this man's powers is, but he survived that fall from the towers, and he has the body of Mr. Liu, and he kind of draws the spirit of the dragon outside of himself to go back into the body of Mr. Liu. And I'm like, okay, are they the same? Like, how is it that they're sharing this dragon spirit?
They're connected somehow. I think we got to learn more about that.
That's very interesting. Because ain't no way he should have survived that drop, guys. Like, Isato dropped him to his death. And he just got a little arm swing on. Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, and it's funny when you mentioned the arm sling. I feel like that's an act.
Right. Yeah.
No, please go ahead, madam. Please.
Oh no, I was just shocked that he survived and that they are connected in this way with this dragon. I wonder how the dragon's able to come into both bodies, and that's very interesting to me. But hold on, we got a comment here from our guy, Leo Gomo. I would say Martian Manhunter, because both can also shapeshift into different people. I don't know much about Richard, but haven't heard if he can do that. Okay. I didn't know that.
I want to say, is he? I'm being agreed on.
Yes, you are. But I would have to humbly disagree, because it ain't giving Martian Manhunter to me.
That was the most unhumblest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But that's the episode, guys. Like I said, of course I enjoyed the show because I enjoyed the show of Invincible, but this was the weakest episode of the season by far. But if you like the episode, please like the video and join us next week around this time for the very next episode of Invincible. And of course, as a gentle reminder, guys, when Daredevil Born Again drops, we will be discussing it live, but it will be the following day. So the first episode drops on the 4th. We will be discussing it on the 5th with you guys. So join us here, subscribe to our channels, and we'll see you next time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.